may be time for a change in strategies in the 2012 campaign in Indiana. The question, is it time for Democratic leaders and campaign donors to bail on the governor's race and focus on the U.S. Senate? Democrats are trailing badly in the race for governor, but are very competitive in the race for the Senate. As RTV6 reporter Norman Cox reports, that's what some people are suggesting. Norm?
All things being equal, either party would want to win the governor's race more than the Senate. But things aren't equal, and Democrats may face a choice of going all in on the race where they have their best shot, the Senate. A look at the results from last week's Indiana Chamber of Commerce poll shows little question which of the two big Indiana races is the most competitive right now. The Senate race shows Republican Richard Murdoch and Democrat Joe Donnelly virtually tied, separated by a statistically insignificant 2%. But in the governor's contest, Republican Mike Pence holds a huge 18% lead over Democrat John Gregg. So should Democrats with fewer resources focus just on Donnelly?
I've always been a firm believer you spend your resources where you have the best hopes of winning. And right now, based on all the polling data that we've seen, and that's all we got to go by, is to me that if you're a Democrat, you try to go for the Joe Donnelly because that is your best shot of winning a statewide office here in the state of Indiana.
IUPUI political science professor Margaret Ferguson says Democrats can't afford to write off the governor's race entirely, but that their money would be better off spent on the Senate race.
I think that's right. I mean, the margin for the Democratic candidate for governor to make up is so vast that unless something very, very dramatic happens, that race is pretty well decided. Senatorial race is still clearly up in the air.
But Democrat Kip Too says it's too early to bail on Gregg because he just started his TV ad campaign and could close the gap. And besides that, election funding laws make it difficult to switch money back and forth between federal and state campaigns.
People make individual decisions. There's not one big meeting where everybody says, okay, we're all going to only give to this person or only give to that person, so it's not possible. And I wouldn't advise it anyway. I mean, the governor's office is more important to Democrats in the state than one more seat in the United States Senate, so I think you have to continue to concentrate on that governor's race.
Of course, there are other ways to push resources to candidates. For example, big supporters like labor unions can be encouraged to divert more of their money to Donnelly and less to Gregg. Donnelly will get a big push tomorrow when a national super PAC announces it's supporting his Senate bid. I'm Norman Cox, RTV6.